All right. And we're in Zoom land with Mindi Abair. Mindi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I always have a good time talking to you. This is awesome.
Thanks so much. You're too kind. So last time we saw each other was a couple years ago at the Rochester Jazz Festival. Summer, sunny, and all
I
that
love
jazz.
that. I love that. And I'm inside right now, but it's like 80 degrees here in Los Angeles. And I'm like, yes, summer is on its way.
We just got off the phone with Jessie J just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And she was literally, you remember the old song, Nobody Walks in LA? So I was teasing her about that because she was walking in LA with two kids in a stroller.
Yeah, she's had a different COVID experience than most, I think. Woo! I've been playing on my porch, having people over and everything and kind of making the most of it all. But yeah.
Yeah, let's put it mildly. She had a different COVID experience. So speaking with Mindi Abair. So Mindi, what did you learn about yourself last year with everything that happened?
Wow, you just delve in with the deep question.
Yeah,
What did you learn? You know what? That's a great question. And everyone I know learned something, learned many things about themselves.
Yeah.
I will absolutely never take for granted that bond that I have with an audience. When I realized, we had this amazing tour schedule planned and we were going everywhere. And, when all of that poof disappeared, I felt this loss and I felt this kind of loneliness. And it wasn't about money. It wasn't about business. It was really about that connection that I have with the people that come to see me in the band. And that's why I started playing concerts on my porch. At first it was just me because it wasn't safe to have anyone around. But, when it did get a little safer, I'd bring one other person, Dave Koz would appear at the other side of my porch, or, Bill Champlin or Peter White or Rick Braun. And that made me so happy to just play. And look, I couldn't see anyone, on Facebook, but I knew they were there and they were commenting and they were a part of what I was doing. And it made me feel sane.
Yeah.
It made me feel whole to do that. And, now we've played a few shows and I can look people in the eye and feel that energy. But boy, I don't think I ever realized it was as deep as it is, that connection. So coming back, I'm just, I'm ecstatic to see people.
Cool. Speaking with Mindi Abair. Mindi, I was thinking about that. So what was it like playing on the porch? Because I've seen so many musicians that were able to pivot from, doing what they do, which is perform and entertain, to, okay, we can make this work. Just do it from the porch or do it from the living room or even some cases the kitchen. Why was it so important for artists to be able to just continue to perform? Because you weren't playing for anybody, but it just seemed like you had to do it.
You know what? There's something wired into us as musicians that we have to play. And it's kind of like breathing, and I've heard different people make jokes, you don't even have to pay us. We just want to play. It's not about that. It's about just emoting. And it's this catharsis of thought and feeling. And I've got to play and make music. And it was fun to share it with everyone. It's like, it was fun to see people come in droves to Facebook. Sometimes we'd have 10,000 people watching. Sometimes I'd look at the numbers a few days later and it was, 150,000 people watched that porch show. And I love that I didn't take it too seriously. I just wanted to play. And I was like, you know what? It's Bill Withers' birthday today. I'm playing Bill Withers. Or, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling some girl power. I'm going to play you or sing you this song. So I think it was amazing to connect in that way. And I think, going back into the normal world when things get a little more, back to what we knew, I think things will continue. I formed different bonds with my fans during this year than I ever have. I've showed my kitchen and brought people to my porch and, had my husband pour them wine on Facebook, and it's a different thing. And I love that moving forward, we can take that with us.
Speaking with Mindi Abair. Mindi, we have a whole new world of folks who've just discovered jazz for the first time, believe it or not. That's one of the silver linings of 2020, I've been telling everybody. So really, they had no idea, they've never heard of Kenny G, Dave Brubeck, Miles Davis, Dave Koz, Mindi Abair. It's all new to them, completely new to them. But they listen to us when I would ask why, they all have the same reason. They love how the music made them feel. So for new people into jazz, what advice would you give them?
You know what, I think jazz and instrumental music and improvised music is this incredibly creative place that instrumentalists like myself can emote and create. And I think if you're new to jazz and you're just getting into it, I say delve in the deep end, get crazy. I grew up as a rocker girl. I was watching MTV. I didn't know who Miles Davis was. I didn't know who Charlie Parker was, but I knew who Tina Turner was, and I knew who Aerosmith was. And if I could be the third woman in Heart, I would have been that. But I figured out watching David Sanborn,
the other Nancy Wilson, yeah,
I could be the lead singer of a pop or rock band with a saxophone attached to me, because that made me bigger. And that made my voice be able to emote things that I couldn't, just as me. And that's what I think listeners find, whether they're listening to George Benson or David Sanborn or me, or, Dave Koz or Miles Davis. You find a person's soul when you're listening to jazz. You get this view of who they are through their instrument and through their melodies. And I love that. And I remember getting in college and I tried to buy every Miles Davis record I could find, because he's just magical, everything about him. And he taught me so much, so yeah, I love that more listeners are coming in. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Speaking with Mindi Abair. Mindi, we're on the same age, so it's kind of funny because we're the last generation we actually can remember life before the internet, before it was an analog life. We had to actually have records and cassettes and mixtapes.
Oh yeah.
So we've seen the digital divide. We've seen how this has changed our lives. But for you, it still is about connecting with your audience. So for folks who are learning about you, Mindi, tell them your story. When did you start playing? What got you playing, and why did you stay playing?
You know what? I grew up in a kind of odd way. My father is a saxophonist and a keyboard player, and I grew up on the road with his band. And that doesn't mean I was playing in his band. It means I was an infant. They just took me on the band truck. And that's how I grew up for the first 4 or 5 years. And I was watching my dad play sax, and he was that sax player that was, like shimmying and shaking and knocking his knees together,
walking.
Yeah, it was so much fun. My grandmother was an opera singer. And so she would come over, just this big woman, and, she was incredible. I had all this amazing music around. And then I became a product of the school band program. I chose saxophone and, was the drum major of the band, and, totally knew I wanted to be a band leader. But after college, I started playing with other people. I just thought I wanted to be a solo artist, but I didn't have that chance. Back then you had to get a record deal. No one was handing me a record deal. They looked at me and just said, "You're a woman who plays sax and sings. We have no idea what to do with that. And there are already a million sax players, whatever." So I started touring.
Quarter Flash, because we were around Quarter Flash. That was the first time that actually ever happened. We saw a female sax player leading a band. Just made me think of that. Harden My Heart.
Harden My Heart. And she was awesome. Totally awesome. See, so we are breaking down those boundaries slowly but surely. But I toured with the Backstreet Boys and Duran Duran and Adam Sandler and Tina Marie, Bobby Lyle, Aerosmith. I've toured with some really amazing artists, but now I get to be a solo artist. And for the last 21 years, I've made records. That's why I just put together my new record, The Best of Mindi Abair. I can't believe it's been 21 years of me making my own records and getting to express myself that way. And it's gone from everything from contemporary jazz to more blues and rock, to some Americana, but it's music I love.
Speaking of Mindi Abair, Mindi, the last time we spoke, you were going to something different in a world that hadn't been done really since the days of Johnny Guitar Watson and Buddy Guy, where you were mixing funk, jazz, and blues together, and you saw the results. You saw literally people's minds change about everything, and they knew about music. And I was so excited for you to do that and for you doing that. So talk about why you decided to mix those three worlds, and because people can't, for some reason, it blew people's minds that why you can mix blues, contemporary jazz together and funk and make it work. And I was like,
you know what? I think you have to go with your heart. You have to make music that inspires you. And I had been kind of, making records, doing my own thing in my own little bubble. But then I got the chance to be American Idol's saxophone player for a couple of years and got to play with a bunch of, different emerging artists, which was super fun. And then, Steven Tyler asked me if I'd go on the road with Aerosmith. And let's experience that. And I went on the road with Springsteen's drummer, Max Weinberg,
right,
and got to play with Springsteen for a night. All these things were swirling in my head. And I realized every time I moonlighted from my own band, it was blues and it was rock. And I had this kind of like second life over here that my fans as a contemporary jazz artist didn't even know. But that's how I grew up. I grew up as this rocker girl. So I really wanted to find a way to make records that could show all of me. Not that my earlier records weren't all of me, they were, but they didn't show that side of me that played with Aerosmith or Duran, and I wanted to be able to do that and do it in my way. So I asked people to help me. Joe Perry from Aerosmith came in and played with me on my Wild Heart record. The same with Trombone Shorty. Greg Allman and I wrote a song for 3 days at his house and recorded it. Booker T. Jones, the same thing. And they helped me put all of me in my music. And that was a little edgier. And it was a little more rock and blues and soul. So that kind of formed that gateway drug to Mindi Abair and the Bone Shakers, where it was down the line. We were playing blues festivals and rock festivals, and it was just muscle, so we did 4 albums together, and it was, I think some people saw us thinking maybe it was going to be contemporary jazz, and they were like, whoa. But it was so fun.
It really was, because I knew it was coming, but they did, and I'm like, get ready, because she's going to change your life. Get ready to see a whole other world of Mindi Abair that you're going to love. And so thank you for doing that, because it really opened a lot of doors for a lot of people in terms of what they thought you were like, or they thought music should sound like, and you put it all together and built this amazing bridge. So thank you for doing that. That was just really remarkable, and keep doing it, please.
Thank you. Well, look, jazz is built on blues. Rock is built on blues. It's all, the blues is this, cornerstone for all these, musical directions that have come after. So I think that it's great to pay tribute to that. And those blues fans should be, fans of jazz and vice versa. So it was fun to kind of cross-pollinate and bring different fans together and make some different music.
And create a new whole another sound.
Kind of blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Speak with Mindi Abair. So Mindi, it's public radio time. It's Jam Month, Jazz Appreciation Month. So why should people continue to support public radio stations and jazz stations like us, for example?
You know what? It is everything to support you guys. You guys bring this life and this heart to your community. And that doesn't happen everywhere, but you guys have created something that, brings people together, that educates people, that inspires people. Sometimes you don't have music at home, or you're only exposed to this one thing. You can expand people's minds and give them this beautiful place to escape. During a pandemic, you can still keep a community together via music. Music is so much of our heart and soul. So I feel like, please support, jazz, support your community. That's what you guys are here for. So you gotta support you.
There it is.
Call in, give
There it
money.
is. That's right.
Open up your
That's right.
wallets.
Amen. Amen. Speaking with Mindi Abair on Jazz 90.1. So Mindi, for folks who want to learn more about you, where can they go?
Go to my website, mindiabair.com, and it's MINDIABAIR.com. Get on my email list, because you'll know when we're coming into your area. You'll know when new records are out, which we just put out our new record last week.
That's right.
And you'll know everything. But follow me on Facebook too, because then you'll know when I go live. And we go live from my porch most every Tuesday. So it's kind of fun to be a part of that. And you'll get a little, hey, Mindy's live, and you can punch in and see who I've got on the porch this week.
Awesome. Speaking of Mindi Abair, Mindi, best of luck to you. Congratulations on surviving 2020 and beyond. And I can't wait to see you back out here again, because we're going to see each other sooner than later.
I know that is true. For now, just listen to the music and tune in, and I appreciate what you do so much. So thank you for having me on.